Good evening, everybody. It's time to call the regular meeting of the Washington Courthouse City Council to order. We will begin with Mr. Schultz giving us the invocation, and Ms. Hernandez will lead us in the pledge.
Please stand. Bow your heads. Lord, thank you for allowing us to gather here tonight. Give us the strength, the stability, the persistence, the ability to make the right decisions for the citizens in the city of Washington Courthouse. Keep us all safe and in good health. Thank you for being there, and thank you for listening to us. Thank you for everything, and in your name, Lord, amen.
Amen.
Please join me with the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both. Roll call, please.
Lynch.
Here.
Schultz.
Here.
Blair.
Here.
Hawk.
Here.
Hernandez.
Here.
Johnson. Chrisman.
Here.
Make a motion that we excuse Mr. Johnson.
Oh, he's not here. I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk.
Here. Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. Approval of minutes. Regular council meeting, December 8th, 2021. Any corrections or anything, any comments on that report? Roll call, please.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just ahead of
Mr. Chair.
myself.
Second.
In a hurry to get out, I guess. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. Next, special council meeting held December 9th, 2021.
I'll make a motion that we approve special meeting of December 9, 2021.
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. Next, budget work session, December 13th, 2021.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for that work session.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
I don't think I was here for that one. Abstain or whatever I did there.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. Next, special council meeting held December 16th, 2021.
I'll move that we place special meeting, council on December 16, 2021.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch.
I'll abstain this time.
Mm-hmm.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Abstain.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. And last but not least, special council meeting December 17th, 2021.
Okay. Yep, go ahead, Steve.
I'll move that we approve the meeting, the minutes of the meeting on the special council meeting, December the 17th, 2021.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Lynch.
I'll abstain.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Abstain.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. Thank you. Business session. Mr. Dennon, communications.
None.
I don't think there's any reports of council committees. Is there, Kelly? I didn't notice any. Thank you. Reports of city officials. Mr. Dennon, city manager.
Welcome to the last meeting of the year. The statement of cash that we handed out for November, we're very pleased with that. And we turn a lot of that information into graphs and post that on the internet, and we also post statement of cash on the internet. The 2020 budget, we continue our work at the wastewater treatment plant, which is probably the most ambitious wastewater treatment work since the 1970s. But we continue that work at the plant. We're very happy with that. We continue the investment in the water system. Court Street and Columbus Avenue, with grant money and TIF money, will get a nice new surface on them and a lot of repair work, and we'll be very happy with that, along with normal street paving. So you'll have your normal street paving program, and then that work, that Court Columbus is actually two separate projects technically, but we're very pleased with that. We increased the technical capacity of the PD considerably. We reinforced the fire department and cemetery. We have money in there for some grant work downtown. You expand the splash pad. You have an outdoor exercise area in this budget, and also improvements for pickleball. That's kind of the highlights of it. But the most important thing about it is it's balanced, which is something that we do every year and have done every year I've been here. But it is completely, utterly balanced, and the American Recovery Act funds, they're used for things that do not recur or have a very long time horizon in their recurrence, so use of that money doesn't generate essentially an ongoing liability. But we're incredibly pleased with that. One logistical question. The reorganizational meeting, January 3rd, is a Monday. So the week of January 3rd, do you folks have any ideas about what date and time you want to do that?
January 3rd,
Okay.
why not?
10 a.m. Is that good?
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah,
okay with me.
that sounds good to me.
January 3rd, 10 a.m.
10 a.m. be fine, yeah. Send us a notice out. Thank you.
And Christmas is just over the horizon. I want to wish local retailers well, wish local restaurant operators well. It's a busy time of year for them. Folks, remember the Lions Club and the candy sale. They use that money for many good purposes around the community, and you need to remember that. You know, you need to remember the reason for the season, and I wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Denham, comments? Seeing no Director of Finance, we'll move on to Mr. City Attorney, Mr. Pitstick.
I don't have any formal report. Wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before council is a request from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control for a D5 liquor permit to Mishti LLC DBA, doing business as Courthouse Corner First Floor, located 1106 Washington Avenue, from HBSD LLC, doing business as Courthouse Corner First Floor, located at 1106 Washington Avenue. The request was reviewed by the Chief of Police with no objections. Does council have any objections to this request? Just a name change.
Is that the drive-through there on the corner?
Yes.
Okay, I thought they already had a liquor.
And I believe it's just a name change from.
Oh, a name change, I see. I
From
know I had one.
HBSD to Michigan.
This looks like they're transferring it from
I
just the name
I
to
see
name.
that now, okay, yeah,
Transferring it to a new person?
yes, yeah, I see that now, thank you.
Who is this? You know?
It looks like one corporation to another, Ted. From HBSD LLC to Mishti LLC MISHTI.
Well, I object and I request, I make a motion to request a hearing on it, but, there's not much has changed on that. It's still real, real close to the middle school. And as far as the police report's concerned, if this is new people, I assume they from out of town up till now.
I have no idea, Ted.
Well, these police reports usually only entail an investigation to see if they've done anything wrong in our town, right?
Correct, that's what we look at, and the state does its own background check, and we forward on any records we have to them.
Okay, well, I think we put the chief of police on the spot when he's gotta write a letter like this, because all he does is check here, so you hadn't really done a background check on whoever this is. And, anyway, I move that we request a hearing.
What, may I ask, what is involved in a hearing?
Well, honestly, in all the years I have done this, we never had a hearing. Mark?
What happens is that the hearing officer will either come down to our county or probably will do a Zoom hearing. And he will take testimony as to why the city is objecting to the transfer of this license from the prior owner to the new current owner. That'll be the main testimony. And the reasons are limited, the vicinity of schools and whether or not that's changed. The other thing is zoning. Is it properly zoned? Does it have appropriate amount of parking? And again, those are just a handful or a hand view of what he would want to know. It really isn't up to the city to make the determination to approve or object to the transfer. There's basically only 3 or 4 different reasons why you can object, and that being zoning, schools, churches, playgrounds, things like that, parking, traffic flow, those kinds of things.
So there's no letter sent to the neighbors around that are within so many feet?
The schools would have received a letter, just like the city would. Churches would have received a letter, just like the city would. The churches or the schools have the right to object, just like the city does. I don't know that they have or haven't. But ordinarily, and Mr. Denon might know more about this than I would, I've not heard of the school or the churches or the schools for that matter making any objection to any of these transfers or for that matter new licenses.
In the past, I've checked, and where the schools and the churches didn't get a letter. So, I know that they're supposed to, but I don't think they do.
But again, Mr. Hawk may be right in that regard. My watch is simply for the city of Washington Courthouse. Whether or not the state of Ohio does what they're supposed to do, I can't answer that. I can say that, we're gonna do whatever council says we need to do. And I think council needs to understand what we can object to and what we can't object to. So it's very narrow, and it's up to you whether or not you want to proceed. Sometimes they'll come down here, and sometimes we'll go up there to have the meeting. I don't know. I think we can request it to happen here on the forum. Entirely up to council.
I think previously that's what it's been. We were requesting to have a hearing here. However, that's not guaranteed, right?
Well,
They can still have it in Columbus.
it's not only not guaranteed, the problem is I've been in contact with the Attorney General in the last, about every month in the last 6 months. Not one of the Attorney General, Assistant Attorney Generals are working from the office. They are all working from home. So anybody involved in this agency will not be working at the offices. In fact, I've been told that the state of Ohio has actually sold one of their buildings and will be continuing to work from home for the foreseeable future. So probably it will be a Zoom. He or she may come down here and have the hearing, since they may want to get out of the house. I don't know. I can't answer, but it could be either way.
Can I share my personal experience?
Sure.
Okay, so I have a liquor license. I was a new liquor license. You fill out your documentation, you file for that. I had assistance in doing that. They then come down someone who will be your representative or your contact, come into your location and they review everything, whether you're meeting standards. You've already passed your background check, so then they come into your facility and they confirm that you've got whatever the requirements are. Like I had to have 2 bathrooms, I had to have, I had to agree to how I was serving, those kind of things. Had to have tables and chairs, all that good stuff. So, he gives me a check-off list of what I haven't accomplished yet, and then he says, when do you want to accomplish this by? He comes back and he visits. And then he is allowed to stop in at any time, any place. He can do it, or he can send someone in undercover. And I have had people in undercover, I can tell because of the questions they ask. A normal citizen who's purchasing a tasting doesn't ask the questions they asked. You know what I mean? It was kind of evident. So that's how it works. So I would assume that that's similar to the process when there's a transfer happening because you have a new owner. So I feel like it's very well covered, well documented. I mean, I know at any time somebody can walk in and ask. If they, you know, they can send in a kid under 21 and see if I'm partying. So I am very comfortable with the process in that they've determined that ahead of time. And as far as location to school, I mean, if you look, you've got beer selling on the corner of Oakland and Dayton. Cherry Hill's right there. You know, so really that's further away. And it's been there forever. I mean, it's been there for how long?
Oh, I expect 7, 8 years maybe. That's one of the old Bodecker properties, I believe. So yeah, that's been there quite a while.
So in my opinion, unless they're in violation of something, and if they're in violation of something, that would be handled and reported. You can report it anonymously or you can report it with your name, and then they come and inspect that. Unless there's those violations, I don't feel like you have any right to question the process. You know, if you're not wanting liquor in town, we don't really have a control over that. It's gonna happen. Unless you're gonna make the entire county dry. And that's a whole nother process.
I think my concern is that the people in the area, I think, should be definitely notified, since we're not even sure they're notified, as according to our city attorney. Can the city, I mean, just to cover our part, I think we should give the citizens an opportunity to say something. It's just like, you know, renew of anything. It's everything starting anew with a new owner. Maybe there's something that we don't know about that somebody may object to. At least give them the opportunity to present any kind of argument. Is this put in the paper or anything?
I don't know.
You don't know.
But, I mean, in fairness, they should be doing that. It doesn't matter if the ownership changes or not. If they have a problem, if underage selling's happening, let's use that as an example, then they should be reporting that through the 800 number. I mean, anything like that. But as far as them saying, I don't want a liquor store beside me, it's too late for that unless they are not following the state laws. Does that make sense? Am I correct, Mark?
Absolutely.
So they have to be breaking a rule or a law or offending more than just a neighbor for them to lose that ability to sell.
This is not a new
Right.
license. This is just a transfer of what is currently there. So, I don't know, please forgive me for what I'm gonna ask, I don't know exactly what you would ask us to do to notify the surrounding, area, other than to put it in the paper. I don't know what we would do. Would we send it to everyone, within 200 feet, 500 feet? What would we do within that area? That's something we would have to investigate, and I don't know how much time or effort it would take to do that. But again, we'll be willing to do whatever council decides for us to do.
Well, what do they do with the new license? Do they
Say-
notify people?
I'm sorry,
Do
no,
they-
they do not.
Even on a new license?
They do
don't?
not.
Hmm.
And she's, went through the process a couple years ago, 3 years ago, for a new license. It's pretty much the same kind of, process.
Well, I'd like to at least see it in the paper, just to be honest with you. It's in case something comes up later on, somebody says, well, look, here's what happened. Why weren't we notified? I just believe that we should be as open as we can on any transaction like this.
The fella that's been running it, he used to work for Bodecker in Jeffersonville at the Shell station, and he was busted for selling drugs out of there.
Hmm.
But it went through anyway, not when they originally gave him the license, which I don't understand it. When they talk about checking on the background, I just haven't seen any evidence that it really gets checked out. Cause that guy shouldn't have had another chance at it.
Mr. Hawk mentioned, the distance from the school, but when this came up before, when Bo Decker was up here, and you gentlemen both probably remember, it was 5 or 10 feet over whatever. If it's 1,000 feet, it was 1,005 or 1,010. So it is okay that way.
Yeah, but I mean, the guys are selling bongs out of there and everything, those kids go in and out of that store and.
Well, I don't disagree with Mr. Hawk on his assertion that there may be bongs or things that can be used to smoke marijuana and smoke other things, but that's not what's in front of council. It's basically a transfer of a liquor license. Whether or not we transfer the liquor license or not, bongs and that kind of thing can be sold out of the local filling station at Pettit's uptown. It doesn't, that doesn't change where we're at, from a legal perspective. So the issues of what they sell other than alcohol is a moot point. It doesn't make any difference in this argument, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I feel like if you challenge this, they're just gonna tell you, sorry, and then we're gonna look like goofballs. That's how I feel, because we don't have valid, you have to have, in my opinion, to do this, you're challenging what their procedure is. You're saying, we don't like your procedure, we don't agree with it, so, but if we're gonna do that, then we better darn well have our ducks in a row and know what that is.
But you don't object to the posting where anybody can see what they're doing?
No, because they
Transfer.
know it's going, I mean, they know they live beside it. It's like Mrs. Jones, she lives by the railroad track. I can't control that. Do you know what I mean? She lives on the railroad track. That is what it is. If the railroad sits there for 2 hours, it's beyond our control. You know that when you're in that neighborhood. Now, if it were a new one, that would be different, I think. But this is a transfer. They've been operating with a liquor license for years, and it's just a transfer of ownership. So we have to have faith that the people who investigate that do their due diligence.
The state, there's no local ordinance that we can come up with to say that when this occurred, there's not. This is all based on the state.
That's correct.
State owns it.
Jim, the public can't stop this. If it's zoned properly. Now, if it wasn't zoned that way, you could have an argument. But the neighbors can't say, we don't want that there. They can't say that. I mean,
Well,
the
they
city
could.
can't, the city could have a hearing, a school could have a hearing. I sat in when I was working for the schools, when there was a place over by Rose Avenue, when Rose Avenue was a school. And there was a big discussion about it. But the school can, the city can, but an individual, if something's zoned near your house and they put in selling liquor there, you can't control that.
Because the zoning's correct.
You can't, so, I mean, you can put it out in the paper, but if it doesn't make any difference, they can't control it. The city can have a hearing, but you gotta have a reason for it. They could say, well, wait a minute, you've had one there for 7 years or whatever, why all of a sudden is it a problem?
So the state would look into the background of the people, the new people purchasing it.
I hope they have.
Yeah,
Fill out a detailed questionnaire. I mean, you can go on their website and see what you fill out.
and my fear is the state would step in and override us anyway, and we'd.
They're going
just look
to
like-
unless
look
we
like
have
we're
a
just trying to
very
stir up
legitimate
something that-
reason.
Yeah, we look like we're trying to stir. Now, if it was a new license, that's a different story, but just transferring of a license.
But
the
even a
state's
new
gonna say-
license, you have to have faith that they're doing,
Yeah,
I mean, you know, and like I said, if, let's just, they can walk in your place of business at any time, undercover or at face,
right, right.
and evaluate what you're doing. Just like the health department, they walk in and they give me
That's true.
an evaluation whenever they want on whether my health, whether I'm following procedure of health department.
I know what Ted's saying, and I understand completely. They're selling stuff that can be used for drug use, but it's not illegal.
Yeah.
If it was illegal, okay, but it's not. And so we can't control it. I understand what he's saying, I don't like it either. But there's, there's alcohol sold closer to the school than that place.
And I
Pizza
think,
Hut sells alcohol, Donato sells alcohol, they're both closer to the school. Anyway,
and Mark, to your knowledge, have we ever had a complaint from any neighbor about this particular location that you're aware of?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Crispin, can I ask Mr. Pitstick a question?
Sure.
Mark, in order for the city to prevail and be successful at a hearing and object to liquor permit, we would have to present substantial evidence, in this case a transfer, that the location in question has become a nuisance or some other source of problem or irritation or associated with crime, or we'd have to present substantial evidence to that effect, would we not?
That's correct. That's correct.
Now, to carry this one step further, just for my own satisfaction, technically, if we did say or do anything about this transfer, it reflects upon the new owner, not the old owner that may sell bongs. We don't know what the new owner may do. Is that
That's correct.
kind of a common sense thing?
That's correct.
But
And-
it's not illegal, what we're talking about, I mean,
Well, even if it were illegal, we don't know that the new owner's gonna do that. And there's always been some concern when we object to something like this, that you might open yourself to a lawsuit, because it looks like you're throwing dirt, for want of a better word, at the new owner. Is that, I mean, it probably wouldn't go anywhere, but,
Yeah, it's not gonna go anywhere, but could.
yeah, I don't wanna be part of that personally, but if everybody else wants to, that's okay. Any other comments? We had a motion, did we ever get a
We
second?
do not get a second.
I didn't, okay, my memory's not as bad as I thought.
That's okay. We just had a motion.
Anybody gonna second it? Hearing no second, the motion fails. Thank you, Mrs. Ford. Kelly. C, legislation previously introduced, item A, ordinance number 15/2021, third reading.
I move we place ordinance number 15/2021 on the third reading.
I second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lynch.
yes,
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Christman.
Yes.
Ordinance number 15/2021, amending ordinance number 15/2020 by providing supplemental appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Washington Courthouse, Fayette County, Ohio, during fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021.
move for passage,
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch.
yes,
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Christman.
Yes. Item B, ordinance number 17/2021, third reading.
I'll move that we put ordinance number 17/2021 on third reading.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lynch.
yes,
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Christman.
Yes.
Ordinance number 17/2021, an ordinance to make appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Washington Courthouse, Fayette County, Ohio, during fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021.
Thank you. Item C, resolution,
Move for
I'm
passage.
sorry, I'm getting,
I'll second that.
That's okay.
roll call, please.
Lynch,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Christman.
Yes. Sorry about that, everybody. I'll try to
Okay.
do better. Item C, resolution number R 41, 2021, second reading.
I'll move we put a resolution number R 41, 2021 on second reading.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lynch,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Christman.
Yes.
Resolution number R 41, 2021, a resolution confirming Joseph J. Denon, city manager of the city of Washington courthouse, reappointment of Dr. Alan Griffiths to the Civil Service Commission for the term concluding December 31st, 2024.
I'll move for adoption on that.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Christman.
Yes. Item D, resolution number R 42, 2021, second reading.
I'll move we put resolution R 42, 2021 on second reading.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lynch,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Christman.
Yes.
Resolution number R 42-2021, a resolution confirming Joseph J. Denon, city manager of the city of Washington courthouse, reappointment of John Hank Rosman to the Civil Service Commission for the term concluding December 31st, 2024.
Move for adoption.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Christman.
Yes. Item E, resolution number R 43, 2021, second reading.
I'll move to place resolution number R 43, 2021 on second reading.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lynch,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Christman.
Yes.
Resolution confirming, resolution number R 43-2021, a resolution confirming Joseph J. Denon, city manager of the city of Washington courthouse, reappointment of Ann Quinn on the Historic District Review Board of the city of Washington courthouse for a term concluding on December 31st, 2025.
I'll move for adoption.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Christman.
Yes. Item F, resolution number R 44, 2021, second reading.
I move we place resolution number R 44, 2021 on second reading.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lynch,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Christman.
Yes.
Resolution number R 44-2021, a resolution confirming Joseph J. Denon, city manager of the city of Washington courthouse, reappointment of Ron Stockman to the Board of Tax Review for a term concluding on December 31st, 2023.
Move for adoption.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Yes.
Hernandez. Christman.
Yes. Item G, resolution number R 45, 2021, second reading.
I move we place resolution number R 45, 2021 on second reading.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lynch,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Christman.
Yes.
Resolution number R 45-2021, a resolution confirming Joseph J. Denon, city manager of the city of Washington courthouse, reappointment of Nancy Hammond to the Board of Tax Review for a term concluding on December 31st, 2023.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Lynch,
Yep.
Schultz,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Christman.
Yes. Item H, resolution number R 46, 2021, second reading.
I move we place resolution number R 46/2021 on second reading.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes.
Resolution number R 46/2021, a resolution confirming Joseph J. Denon, city manager of the city of Washington courthouse, appointment of Terry Fight to the Board of Tax Review for a term concluding on December 31st, 2023.
I'll move for adoption.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. Item I, resolution number R 47/2021, second reading.
I move we place resolution number R 47/2021 on second reading.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes.
Resolution number R 47/2021, a resolution confirming Joseph J. Denon, city manager of the city of Washington courthouse, reappointment of Marlene Rankin to the tree committee for the term concluding December 31st, 2025.
I'll move for adoption.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. Item J, resolution number R 48/2021, second reading.
I'll move we put resolution R 48/2021 on second reading.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes.
Resolution number R 48/2021, a resolution authorizing Joseph J. Denon, city manager of the city of Washington courthouse or his designee, to enter into a contract with Central Square for the purchase of computer software.
Move for adoption.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes. Item K, resolution number R 49/2021, second reading.
I'll move that we place resolution number R 49/2021 on second reading.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes.
Resolution number R 49/2021, a resolution authorizing Joseph J. Denon, city manager of the city of Washington courthouse or his designee, to enter into contract with GovDirect for the purchase of computer equipment for end cruiser use.
I'll move for adoption on that.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Chrisman.
Yes.
I mean, we couldn't get to 50 resolutions.
That's what I
We
thought.
did, we actually did, but we already passed 50.
Oh, okay.
That was already done.
Yay.
It was one of the different ones for some.
49, yes, this year.
Yes.
Okay, new legislation in writing, seeing none, we'll move to miscellaneous. We'll start with the lady on the end, please.
I have nothing to say except ho 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 and Merry
There
Christmas.
you go. Mr. Lynch.
Yes, instead of having a quote, I want to read you something that one of my students wrote on their final exam. Here was the question, and all I had to write on this. What's the most important thing you have learned about our government this semester, and why is it important? Here is his response. The most important thing that I think I learned this semester is that politicians hate each other. That's funny. I didn't see that as funny.
It's not funny,
Now,
but we expect it.
he says, now,
Yeah.
that doesn't sound like a big deal at first glance, but it has caused a huge polarization problem in this country. It hasn't just caused politicians to separate, it has caused American citizens to separate, and that is scary. It is so bad that there are even extremists, far left and far right groups, forming that are very dangerous. There are a lot of connections to be made between modern day America and back in the Civil War, when the South seceded. People hate each other. Every single issue has become a political issue. People are starting to use liberal and conservative as an insult. People are rioting, people are angry, and people are getting killed. But I am so glad to have learned about this ugly reality, because it is now the youth's time to stop this hate and bring America back together. Written by, you might be interested, and I asked him if I could read this before tonight. Written by one Mr. Caden Schultz.
Good, very good.
Caden got all the credit for that answer. But I'm very, very sad that that's what he's learned about government. I also asked Caden to come tonight, but he cannot because he's quarantined because he has COVID.
Yes.
I saw in our paper that just barely over 40% of people in Fayette County are vaccinated, that we are 6th in the state, even though we are a very small county in numbers, in the number of people that have COVID or have had COVID. I know people aren't going to listen to me when I say they need to be vaccinated, but I also know that about 90-some% of people in the hospital with COVID who are very sick, if not dying, are unvaccinated. So it doesn't have to be coming from me. I wish people would just look at statistics and figure out we're never going to get rid of these masks. We're never going to get past this if we don't have more people get vaccinated. And even getting vaccinated will not 100% guarantee you're not going to get COVID. But it evidently pretty well guarantees that you're not going to die from it. And so Caden has figured out what the country is like. I pray that he's right, that somebody sometime in our youth are going to turn around what I think we have screwed up. And so Caden, you're home with COVID. He said he's feeling fine, so that's good.
Yeah, because you live tomorrow.
Anyway, I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a happy, safe, and much less contentious 2022, and I hope that we get way above 40-some% of people in this county vaccinated. Because I'm getting darn tired of wearing this mask. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Blair.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I'm going to end my year with a Christmas carol.
You're not gonna sing, are you?
No.
I think if you do a Christmas carol, you have to sing it.
Yeah.
You have to sing.
The words really have struck home to me, and I think, as Mr. Lynch alluded to there with the situation in the world, this kind of really ties in what I would call my grown-up Christmas list. I want you to listen to the words. Do you remember me? I sat upon your knee. I wrote to you with childhood fantasies. Well, I'm all grown up now, and still need help somehow. I'm not a child, but my heart still can dream. So here's my lifelong wish, my grown-up Christmas list, not for myself, but for a world in need. No more lives torn apart, that wars would never start, and time would heal all hearts, and everyone would have a friend. And right would always win, and love would never end. No, this is my grown-up Christmas list. As children, we believe the grandest sight to see was something lovely wrapped beneath the tree. But heaven only knows that packages and bows can never heal a hurting human soul. No more lives torn apart, that wars would never start, and time would heal all hearts, and everyone would have a friend, and right would always win, and love would never, ever end. No, this is my grown-up Christmas list.
Amen, brother.
Thank you. Anything else?
That's it, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Schultz?
Mr. Lynch, thank you very much for reading what Caden had to say. That is.
I didn't tell him what to say, he wrote it.
The kid, we've had several conversations about these situations. You know, even our first president of the United States said that he disagreed with parties because parties would create problems within the country. So, but, you know, it is a difficult world we live in, I know. So the only thing we can do is wish everyone a very healthy Merry Christmas. I hope, like Mr. Lynch said, I would wish that more people would get vaccinated. That is the answer to getting rid of the mask and moving forward in the entire country and the entire world. And I'd love to see America, the United States, step up and be the example for the world. So that is my wish for Merry Christmas. And thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Hawk?
Well, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and also remind us that there were reasons for dissension during the Civil War, good reasons, and there was also a lot of dissension during the Revolutionary War, which formed our country and formed our Constitution and the freedoms and the rights that we have. That's all.
Thank you. I'm going to divert a little bit and go around the rest of the table. Mrs. Ford, do you have any comments?
Just wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Thank
This
you.
has been a crazy year, but it's been a wonderful year. And look forward to next year.
Thank you. Mr. Pitstick?
Just Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Last but certainly not least, Mr. Denner.
Merry Christmas.
Short and sweet. Thank you all for coming.
Before you adjourn,
Oh.
Mr. Chairman, I have something. As we all know, this evening will end Mr. Chrisman's time as chair of city council. He has had 2 terms in that role, and because of the charter, he cannot serve in that role again. But Mr. Chrisman, you have been, to my knowledge, and what do I know, history-wise, you've probably been elected to city council more than anybody in history. I don't know that to be a fact, but I would guess it's true.
I go back to the last century.
Anyway, and you obviously have served as chair the last 2 terms as well as a few years back. So you have done not only an outstanding job for us, but you have most importantly done an outstanding job for the citizens of Washington Courthouse. I think that's why they keep re-electing you. And so as you end your term and pound the gavel for the last time, we on city council and Mr. Denny, Mr. Pitstick, Kelly, everybody, want to recognize you for your service as chairperson these last 4 years. And thank you.
Thank
for that
you.
service, Mr.
I
Chrisman.
appreciate it.
We really appreciate
Thank
it.
you very much.
Hey, you wanna take a picture?
Yeah, you can take a
Yes,
picture.
yes, I can.
I think you should.
We'll get it.
Yeah, I think everybody should.
Let's take our mask off. Let's get time you been chairperson?
3.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea. Can you get in there?
You get up there.
Get in there, Ted?
You need to like give it
Yeah.
to him.
Okay, let me
You know what I
present it
mean?
to you.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Let me squeeze in just a little bit to make this just a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna try not to get the items on the table there.
I guess I'm supposed to have.
Oh, yeah, do you guys wanna take off
Yeah,
the
you
mask
can
or
take the
mask
mask
on?
off, yeah, I
Sorry.
never thought about
I
that.
don't know, now that we're real close, we should take it off.
Wait a minute,
It's okay.
it's caught on my hearing aid. There you go.
Good. Okay. The count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let me get another one here this way, cause I don't know which way they're gonna do it.
Does that make us skinnier?
Count of 3.
Make me
Ready?
fat and bald.
Count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank
Very
you all,
good.
appreciate it,
Good job.
Congratulations.
appreciate it.
Congrats.
Now you can, got your own at home, you can stand there and
Yeah.
pound with it.
I gotta watch Ted, he'll end up with it.
Don't give it to Ted, he'll break it.
Carrying on a little bit more
Ted will sell it,
on Dale's comments.
Oh, that's adjourned yet, have we?
negotiate something
We,
for it.
didn't adjourn
Yeah,
yet.
we have to adjourn.
Oh, that's
We have to
true.
adjourn.
Not yet. Carrying on Mr. Lynch's
Yeah.
comments on the COVID. I watched that news over the weekend and I think it was 3 or 4 rows of cars waiting hours to get tested. Showed them lined up on New York streets waiting to get tested.
Mhm.
And I told my secretary that today and she said, well, maybe they had to for the job. And I said, could be, but I'll be damned if I'd stay out on the streets in New York 3 or 4 hours waiting to get tested. I'd go get a shot and forget it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, to me, it just,
That's a good point.
and most of the people that you talk to that don't get vaccinated cannot give you, what I consider a valid reason. Well, I just don't want to. They don't know anything about it.
Mhm.
And I thought, a nurse said that the other day. They don't know anything about it. And I said, well, she didn't know anything about polio, but I bet she got the vaccine.
Yep, that's true.
So anyway, thank you all for your support the last 4 years. I appreciate it. It's been enjoyable. And I feel we got a lot accomplished, thanks to all you folks, and thanks to all the city employees. We got a wonderful crew.
That we do, we have a good crew.
Merry Christmas.
I'll make a motion to adjourn, Kelly.
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lynch,
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Hawk,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Christie.
Thank you. Yes.
And my favorite football team